Ukraine says Russia has launched its biggest wave of airstrikes in months, hitting the nation's power grid ahead of winter. At least 10 people are dead after the nationwide missile and drone attack. Police name Harshita Brella, who was 24, as the woman found in the boot of a car in London on Thursday. Her husband is the prime suspect in the investigation. Farmers should look calmly at plans to introduce inheritance tax, says the government, ahead of a major protest on Tuesday. And
let's hear it for Rory McIlroy.
A towering triumph for the man from County Down, winning the last major golf tournament of the year in Dubai.
Our headlines today. 10 Palestinians are reported to have been killed in an Israeli airstrike on a school in Gaza, which was sheltering displaced families. Donald Trump chooses a climate change skeptic as his energy secretary. It's the oil and gas executive, Chris Wright. A major supermarket on the Isle of Lewis will open on a Sunday today for the first time, despite opposition from some residents.
There are people who are going to be hurt by it, and it's all how it's dealt with.
Totally against it. We moved up here from Yorkshire 34 years ago, and one of the attractions was the peace and quiet and the way of life.
Let's have a quick look at the front pages of the Sunday papers, see what's making the headlines today. Wherever you are, wherever you're waking up, this was a story that we reported yesterday. Farmers protesting outside the Labour conference in Llandudno. It was the Welsh Labour Party conference. The Sunday Times says that farming families descended on the town in tractors to voice their anger at changes to inheritance tax and to demand a meeting with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was there. He gave an address to the conference. The Sunday Mirror focuses on buses and says that the government has announced plans for a £1 billion boost in services across the UK, aiming to implement a London-style public transport system nationwide. The NHS says there's been a quote, shocking rise in strokes among the middle-aged. The official figures released to The Telegraph show that cases among men and women in their 50s are rising faster than in any other age group, with a 55% rise in cases in the last 20 years. I'm a Celebrity starts tonight, for those of you that are interested. Many of the papers have pictures of this person on the front, Colleen Rooney, the wife of the former England footballer Wayne Rooney, of course. She's going into the jungle in I'm a Celebrity. The Express here with their photograph saying that Mrs Rooney is reportedly the highest paid contestant ever on the programme. Wouldn't have a clue how much that is, but I presume it's an awful lot of money. The UK now is more than doubling its spending on humanitarian aid for people who are affected by the civil war in Sudan. The new aid commitment of more than £100 million will go towards food, shelter and education for more than 1 million people and to those who have fled to neighbouring countries. The government's revealed how the money raised from increasing the bus fare cap in England will be used. In her budget last month, the Chancellor Rachel Reeves said that outside London, single fares will go up from £2 to £3 maximum. The money will go to local authorities and bus operators to make improvements and to deliver London-style services. Lord Blunkett has called for an urgent review into what he described as death trap tube platforms, after he was injured falling into a gap as he boarded a train with his guide dog at Westminster Station. The Labour peer, who suffered extreme bruising, wants Transport for London to do more to ensure that visually impaired people are kept safe. Now, just before the weather with Simon, general admission for Glastonbury 2025 tickets is due to open in under an hour. Summer seems a long way away, doesn't it? But festival organisers have rolled out a new system for ticket buyers this year, with hopefuls being randomly assigned a place in the queue rather than being served on a first-come, first-served basis. No mention in there, luckily, of dynamic ticket pricing, which, of course, caused such a controversy earlier in the year. They're not doing that, but you'll get a random place in the queue rather than being first-come, first-served. Never been to Glastonbury, but it always looks amazing.